Hey guys, Mercenary here bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and so today we are going to be taking a look at the EZA for the World Tournament LR Mercenary Tao. So he is the newest of the World Tournament LRs to receive an EZA, and he is certainly interesting. I remember when he released, there wasn't really a huge fuss made about him. He's got a weird kit. He also has very strange links considering the character that he is and the category that he's on. But we'll talk all about that here. It was kind of cool to get some representation for Mercenary Tao, because obviously he's one of the big antagonists for OG Dragon Ball, at least at the beginning. He does have a DB Saga category leader skill, but 4-key 150, so obviously not something we're going to be worried about too much in terms of using him as a leader. His super attack effects are, decent. He greatly raises attack and defense on his 12-key super, which is good. Colossal damage and a 70% chance to crit for the turn. His 18-key super is also greatly raised attack and defense, mega colossal damage, and a great chance to crit for one turn. The for one turn thing is like the UI Goku and Blue Evolution from the 6th anniversary. So if he does the 18-key super, that's a 70% chance to crit. Then if he does any other additional supers, that stacks, so it becomes 140%. So any additional supers that he does will be guaranteed crits, right? And then when we take a look at his passive, so he gets 2 extra key per key sphere obtained, which is always useful for LRs. Every key sphere obtained, he gets 56% attack and 48% defense. With 3 or more orbs, he gets an extra 75% attack and 64% defense when attacking. With 10 or more key, he gets 108% extra attack. So that, bear in mind, that doesn't mean the orbs don't matter. So even if you get a really bad turn and you pick up like 2 STR orbs, he's going to get, 6 key from them. So he's going to have 10 key. He gets extra attack when attacking and gets extra defense when receiving an attack if you've got 10 or more key. When HP is 50% or more, he gets an extra 100% defense and 20% damage reduction. And then before receiving 3 attacks in battle, he has an extra 20% damage reduction. So right from the start, if you're above 50% HP, you have 40% damage reduction. And then once you take 3 hits, you lose that 20. When HP is 50% or less at the start of the character's attacking turn after they've received 3 or more attacks. So you have to have received the 3 attacks and be at 50% or less HP, and then for one turn only, he gets 50% damage reduction and randomly changes key spheres of a certain type, STR excluded, to STR. So it's kind of crazy. For a character that is a nuking unit, you basically have to jump through hoops in order for him to be able to orb change one time, which is kind of crazy. And then he has an active skill that when you activate gives him 440% attack temporarily and guarantees a crit. It's the same thing again that they did with the 6 years, where to make their active skills hit harder, you just give them a massive attack buff in their passive. And it can be activated when HP is 50% or less and you've received 3 or more attacks. So they're basically the same turn you get the nuke ability. Massively raises attack temporarily, ultimate damage, and guaranteed stun for one turn. Now the problem with this guy is if we look at his links, Crane School, Supreme Warrior, Coward, Dodon Ray, like 4 links straight away that very few characters in the game actually have. Like if we take a look at Crane School, like these are the only characters in the game that have it. So I mean, this guy is like the only Prime Battle LR that hasn't EZA'd yet. Maybe he'll get an EZA soon. He also has Coward, which very few units in the game have. Especially think about, we're looking for like DB Saga characters. There is the Mercenary Tao. He's not on DB Saga, so he's not even on the DB Saga team. And then Dodon Ray is, again, barely any characters in the game, right? And the thing is, that tech cyborg Mercenary Tao isn't good. So having your only good link partner in the game be a unit that's kind of unrunnable in difficult content is kind of awkward. But yeah, the big thing that you notice is that he's on DB Saga. Obviously he's on Dragon Ball Seekers. He doesn't have Guidance of the Dragon Balls or the Incredible Adventure. So his only 220% leader in the game, I believe, let me just double check because I've got the list up here. Yeah, his only 220% leader in the game is this Kid Goku, but he doesn't have any of the Dragon Ball Saga links that would be on this team. So, not a great start here either. Like we've got no links active. She supports DB Saga characters, right? No, she supports super class allies, so she doesn't even support Tao. Alright, well, we'll get 7 key, we get him to 24, so he is at 506k defense start of turn. Obviously, if he gets hit, which he's not going to at this point, right, because he'll be dead, he gets 100%, 108% extra defense. He does also get 64% when attacking. So he does get quite a lot of extra defense, because when he attacks, that 60-odd%, that's going to put him up to about 800k. And then when he gets hit, he gets 100%. So that puts him up to like 1.6 million. And before he takes 3 hits, he also has 40% damage reduction. So that's not actually that terrible in terms of defensive capability. I mean, obviously, if we're talking about him taking hits from the hardest bosses in the game, that's not really ideal. But yeah, I mean, that's not completely terrible. Some of the World Tournament EZAs we've looked at already, or Awakenings, are not on that level defensively. But of course, this guy's an LR, right? He was a World Tournament reward. You had to play multiple World Tournaments in order to get him, and to get him rainbowed. And it very much feels like those, like the World Tournament EZAs have always been hit or miss, not just the LRs. But it definitely feels like when it comes to the LRs, they probably should put a little bit more effort into them, right? Because they are these units that you've had to grind for over the years. Like, you know, sometimes when we've had longer delays between World Tournaments, I can't remember exactly when which World Tournaments this guy was available and what exactly the gaps were between each one. But like, you could have waited from when the first World Tournament that he dropped, you could have been waiting almost like a full year to get him rainbowed. Then a couple of years later, now he finally gets his EZA. But the big question that we often ask with a lot of these units, whether they're free-to-play units that come out, or they're units that get EZAs but then they have like weird restrictions or weird links or whatever, I kind of always circle back to that big main question, which is like, what is this unit for? Like, what team, when they designed this unit's EZA, like, what were they thinking we were going to use this guy on, right? Because he's on Target Goku, which is a team that isn't really much of a relevant team in the meta anymore. Obviously, he's on Earthlings and Earthbred Fighters, but those categories have so much better choices for stronger characters that link well together. He's on Siblings Bond, but like, who's he going to be run with on that team? He's on Sworn Enemies, which is a category that has like all the Freezers, Cells and Boos, who he doesn't link with, and again are like all better than him. So it's one of those things where you can make a character like this, where they are on these weird set of categories and maybe they have weird links, but you kind of have to counteract that by really going all in, like on the passive, right? Like, for example, the fact that he's not going to share or any links with a lot of the units on the main team that he's meant to be run on. Not only does that mean that he should have his own much higher like boosts and stats, but giving support would be really helpful as well, right? Because he's not going to give key to anyone else on the rotation because they don't share any links. He shares Brutal Beatdown and Shattering the Limit with Mai. The problem is as well, we're getting into this annoying like rotation here where he's not getting to attack before we he's not getting to do anything before the enemy dies, because he keeps coming in on the second turn. So if we pick up 6 orbs, we go up to 535k. When he takes the first hit, he's going to go up to 1 million, and he has 40% damage reduction because he hasn't been hit yet. So I'm just going to have to hope that March of Vegeta doesn't super straight away. We do get the extra bit of damage reduction thanks to Kid Goku as well. So yeah, he takes double-digit damage from the normals with type disadvantage. That's good. 28 million on the attack. I mean, to be fair, like, for a free-to-play nuking unit, 28 million when we only picked up 6 orbs, I think is pretty good. Because when it comes to nuking-style characters, obviously the more orbs you pick up, the better. But we definitely have even some of the summonable. You think about, like, Tech Cell Super EZA, Int Buhan Super EZA. Those guys are hitting sort of 20 to 30 million with, you know, somewhere between like 6 and 8 orbs depending on links and stuff like that. So this guy, with being a free to play with 6 orbs with only like 2 links active, I would say that that's not completely terrible. Let's get Bulma floated off and see if we can get, so because obviously she'll give him support. The Chi-Chi doesn't, so we might as well keep her with the Goku. I don't want to use up all the orbs because it's rare that we get like the orbs for that Tao will be able to get, but I kind of need her to get at least we need at least the 5 to be able to get the support, and we weren't going to get that in the other slot. So yeah, hopefully Goku should be okay here. He's stacked up a little bit. He's got the damage reduction. Yeah, takes that for double digits. I mean, that's the thing. Straight away though, I'm already jumping into like a bit of an easier stage because The Dragon Ball Saga team, obviously Kid Goku himself is really good, but characters like this Tao are not going to be standing up against bosses in, like, you know, the Future Saga or Universe Survival Saga stages of these Goku and Vegeta story red zones. Which again brings me back to, like, with this team can be solid, especially because Kid Goku himself is so good. And again, it just comes back to that, like, what was the design purpose for this Tao? Because if he was giving all allies support, if it was like all DB Saga allies, like 50% attack and defense, you could probably say that even without having a bunch of links active and stuff, you could just throw him on this team to be like a third slot floating unit, and he'd probably do okay. But let's use this. Kid Goku should still have his damage reduction now as well. Probably not good if he gets super attacked, but do that. And get 7 orbs this time. Still got the links from Mai here. Let's go ahead and do this. But yeah, it's like I'm not the hugest fan of Mercenary Tao as a character choice, but just when it comes to any of these like releases, it's just a bit disappointing to wait for these EZAs, and it's kind of a running trend with the World Tournament characters, I guess, waiting for these EZAs, because Piccolo was the first World Tournament EZA, and at least for the time that he got his World Tournament LR EZA, at least for the time that he got his, he was actually relatively decent. The TN and Chaozu were just kind of, you know, they were okay. Yamcha was pretty good, at least especially in terms of damage output, although he wasn't like crazy defensively, so he's aged out basically already. So there's been a bit hit or miss with the World Tournament LR EZAs. No additional as well. This guy that has the ability that his additionals will become crits, essentially guaranteed, because the crit chance stacks, but he doesn't have any additional chance in his hidden potential. And of course, let's talk about how disappointing it is that that one turn nuking thing and his active skill are all tied into, not only does he have to be hit 3 times first, but you also then have to be at 50% or less HP at the start of the turn. Which isn't really ideal under like any sort of circumstance. How many turns do we have the damage reduction for? It's 7 turns, yeah, so he still has it now. So we'll do that. Do that. Get those for Kid Goku for his support, and then we have all those STR orbs there. I guess what we could do on the next turn is we got Bulma. This is gonna. I think Bulma might have her active skill. So since we're probably not going to be getting Tao's active skill or his orb changing at any point here, we can go ahead and put Kid Goku in slot 1. Use. Pick up the orbs for him, then use Bulma's active skill, pick up the entire field of orbs for Tao, and see how well he does with the 23. Because, like I say, he's hit a, I would say, respectable attack stat for a Nuka only getting 6 or 7 orbs. And then, yeah, like his defense, he is greatly raising on both supers as well, which is something I didn't mention when we saw his defense before, and we were saying, like, you know, if he has 500k, he's getting 60-something% on super, so he's going up to 800 OK-ish. Then he's also greatly raising when he does his super attack, which actually is going to put him close to, if not over, 1 million. So then when he gets hit, if he gets 100% extra defense, which is 108%, he's actually going to be going to over 2 million. And if he started the turn at 50% or more HP, he still has the 20% damage reduction, even after he's been hit 3 times. Path to Power Kid Goku giving that little bit extra as well is good. So, I mean, there are certain situations where even against some of the harder hitting bosses, he will just tank their normals for double-digit damage. But the big thing is going to be, obviously, against like the hardest hitting bosses when it comes to their supers. He's not going to be in an ideal spot. God, yeah, I guess Goku with no links only has 359k defense. That's crazy. If Kid Buu supers straight away, do I just die? Let's do this and see how much he will take here, because at least we can get legendary power active if we just do this first, I guess. So we'll go ahead and do this, change the entire field of orbs. That gives everybody key and like some attacks effective against all types. A little bit of extra defense as well. So let's go ahead and grab the 23 orbs here. Which, bear in mind, even on his orb changing turn, he only randomly changes 1 type of orb, so he's not even necessarily going to get well, he almost certainly will not ever get the whole orb field, because he's only going to change 1 type. So if you've got STR and 2 other types of orbs on the field, then obviously it's never going to be all the orbs. So that puts him to 1.23 million, which is obviously insane, because it means when he gets hit, he's going to get 108% extra defense. So he's going to immediately jump to like just over 2.5 million. Then if we get the 5 orbs for Bulma, that gives the support. So now he's at 1.26, and then we'll do this. So it's obviously a crazy turn for him. Not really what we would expect as like the average turn, but of course he's going to get immediately supered. I think he's been hit 3 times already, right? But he has the 20% damage reduction as well. Yeah, so he takes... Oh, of course he gets sealed. Bruh. Oh, he gets sealed. Well, that was good. Because, I mean, I feel like with 27 million with like 6 or 7 orbs, and then we're talking the support from Bulma, the active skill support from Bulma, and then 23 orbs. Right, we're looking at what, 60 to 70 million attack stat on that turn, potentially. But it's a one-time only thing. It's only because of Bulma's active skill. Bulma then, of course, taking some massive damage here. I mean, if we can survive... Well, Kid Buu's the last boss, isn't he? So if we survive the next turn and stay at about 50% HP, then we could see the orb change and the active skill. I mean, I guess I could just Ghost Usher, to be fair, on the next turn. And then the problem is the DB Saga characters who do link really well, aka all of the rest of them on the team, I can't miss supers with any of them. So chances are we probably are going to kill Buu here. But yeah, let me go ahead and Ghost Usher. I need to make sure I don't get the Dokkan attack. So no same type orbs for these guys. But the thing is, the friend Kid Goku is Rainbow. So, well, actually though, with no unit super, Kid Buu can't take damage from Goku. So that's the one saving grace we might have here to get to the next turn, because my Chi-Chi's only 55%, and I think so is... Actually, I think might be a couple of dupes. But neither of them are going to do crazy damage. Whereas look at Goku dropping like 50 million attack. Like if his attacks weren't getting negated, he'd crit there as well. So he would just be absolutely destroying Buu. In fact, funnily enough, him getting an additional normal was actually bad for us, because he then actually was able to do damage to him. Of course, the problem is, though, I think he's going to survive the turn, but then he's on such low HP that he will die if we don't put Tao in slot 1, and then watch him super Tao immediately. At least we can do the active skill. The active skill attack might actually just kill him as well, potentially, but not sure. That's the problem with a nuking character. I think they did the same thing with the GT Super Saiyans when they gave them their EZA, is when you give a nuking character an active skill that does damage, it barely does any damage, because they get all of their attack from picking up orbs, and the active skill is done before you pick up orbs. So that's why they've given him that 440% extra attack when you use the active skill, because then that's the equivalent of him picking up like sort of 7 or 8 orbs, because he gets what, like 40 and 50% or 50 and 60% depending on which ones you get. So I mean, I guess we could pick up the Bulma orbs first to give him a bit of a buff. Man, I wish Kid Buu. It's a shame you can't Ghost Usher 2 turns in a row. I probably should have just taken the risk that we could have survived that previous turn. We probably would. Because yeah, I really want to see him attack as well, but we'll pick up the orbs for Bulma to give everybody the buff. Then we now can't use the active skill because we healed. Oh my god, this is like the cursed showcase. See what I mean though about how you have to jump through all of these hoops just for... Let's see what we actually get when we do his active skill. But yeah, we have to jump through all of these hoops, and he's not even that good. Bruh. Well, let's see. Now the game's not loading. Here we go. Alright, so let's try that again, shall we? So yeah, we can't have her go first. So we've got no links active. Not really anything we can do about that, because, well, actually, no, they don't have legendary power yet. It's got the oh, Bulma has legendary power active because she has enough ki to super. Alright, well, let's do the active skill, see what kind of damage we get here.
I'm sorry. It was a terrible thing. Forgive me.
Throw a grenade at Kid Buu. 9 million damage crit, and that was it. Alright, well, we'll put him in slot 1 and see what happens, I guess. Because we got the orb change and the extra 50% damage reduction. So in theory, he might tank okay. But obviously, if he gets supered, he's going to get sealed. And then... great, Kid Goku can't get the 5 orbs. Of course he did. How much is he tanking this one for? This is with the extra damage reduction on this turn, though, as well. So, only takes 80k, which is not terrible, considering how hard Kid Buu can hit once he's built up. But, yeah, there you go. So, that is the EZA for LR Mercenary Tao. I mean, what more can I say, right? Jumping through all those hoops just to get that kind of performance is definitely not something for a unit who barely is on any teams, and even on the teams he's on, barely shares links with anybody. Oh boy, this they really took the cake with how bad this guy is. Like, it's been a while, I think, since I've been... Even with some of the TUR World Tournament EZAs, they've been pretty bad. But, like, damn, is this guy a disappointment. But, hey, what can you do? So, Bulma fails to finish him off here. Takes a little bit of damage from these normals, but then Path to Power Kid Goku can finish the job. Very, very disappointing. I'm trying to think who the World Tournament LR after Mercenary Tao actually was. Because I'm trying to think how long. Because I know we've still got like one more World Tournament with Grandpa Gohan. Was Jackie Chun after this guy? Because, I mean, he has a good potential because he has the thing where when he 18 key supers an enemy, he gets extra damage reduction against them, which obviously can always be useful. But, man, this Tao, what a disappointment. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Can you see any use for this guy? Any saving grace for him whatsoever? I just think he is terrible. Honestly, the only thing, like, his attack stats are decent. For a free-to-play nuking style character, he is hitting a decent attack stat without getting a ton of orbs, and he had barely any links active. So if you are going to run the risk, like, you could run him in a lower difficulty event, I guess. Running him with, like, a Cyborg Tao, where he's got a bunch of his links active, he could do quite well. But for the actual difficult content, no, I can't see where you could use him. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master again. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.